Really, it's pleasant to see you once again in the morning with an active energy and everything. Even though you had a delayed night in the yesterday, we are happy to see you back.
My pleasure entirely. Yeah. So we have this interesting case. I'm going to get them to. If someone wants to present the case, yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing the slide. Someone has to present that.
Yeah, it's comfortable. No problem. I can see that.
Fine. Fine,
Good
Cross.
morning, I'm Dr.
With the
Lalita
next
here.
year.
The first case is a 67-year-old male, known hypertensive and an ex-smoker with a past history.
No, we are
Madam,
not
you are
able-
not much audible.
Now it's better.
No, not yet.
Is it okay now?
Probably slightly you have to increase the voice.
Probably speak into the mic there.
Yeah, there's a past history of
Yeah,
an
it's
inferior
good.
wall MI and RV MI in 2002. It's okay now?
Yeah, good, excellent.
Subsequently, he underwent a PTCA to RCA, where a stent was implanted in the proximal RCA. The details of the stents are not known. And in 2013, he presented with chronic stable angina when he underwent an angiogram.
Wait, I need
This was the
wire.
angiogram done in 2013.
Is the wire?
The left system was normal, but the RCA
Yeah,
had
I need
a
the tip.
chronic total occlusion in the proximal part, with the proximal RCA completely deceased. A first attempt at PTCA was done in 2013, however, we could not cross the lesion. The patient presented
Get this
again
over
with
here.
the same complaints, and an angiogram was done again in 2014, and a second attempt at angioplasty was done, wherein we attempted to cross the lesion with the buddy wire support using the hard wires as well as with a microcatheter, but we were not successful. So this is the third time we are going up with Dr. Kirti Punamia and hopefully for a successful result.
Uh, did the patient have a stent in the past? In the proximal RCA?
Is there any stunt implantation in the proximal RCA previously?
Previously, yeah.
It is the
Able to
instant
see
total
stent there and,
occlusion.
There looks like a stent in
Stent
that
there
proximal
and, the
RCA.
operation is most
when was
probably
it?
at the distal edge of the stent and
So this is a diffuse in-stent restenosis, and you can see that my guide catheter is deeply engaged almost to the point where the stenosis starts. From the previous attempt, probably there's been a damage to the proximal RCA as well. So
You have
we-
to see the angio pictures. We're not seeing.
Can we show them the previous angio pictures, please?
Yeah, we
Microcatheter.
have seen the previous angio pictures, but at present basal angiogram we are not able to see.
Oh, microcatheter.
And you can probably play the present cines that we have taken.
Dr. Kirti, what is the guiding catheter you are using?
I'm using an AL1
AL1, okay.
because I need all the support that I can get in this. We can't see a path as such, so I've chosen, because of that proximal disease segment, I've chosen an XTR wire, which is far more forgiving. And with a microcatheter, let's see where we go, and then we'll change as we go along. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, before the guide itself, do you think that with an antigrade flow demonstration of the distal RCA, is there any role of the taking the dual injection, or otherwise is the mandatory that all CTOs better to have the dual injection even though you have a distal filling from the diseased segment itself?
Yeah, that's a good question. See, when you have a CTO with a guide catheter almost touching the disease segment, the antigrade injection cannot be forceful, which means that you will not get a good picture of the distal artery, and you will have to have a very long angiogram. Now, if you see our simultaneous angiogram, it gives you a fair idea. Go back and show them what we did, the first two pictures, yeah. It gives me a great picture and a target. It tells me where I need to head. And I think I've got a lot of distal information from this retrograde angio, plus I know where my antigrade is going to have to reach. This cannot be achieved with an antegrade injection.
So we have to see those pictures. We're seeing only the old previous angiogram.
Yeah, let's compare it to that. Yeah.
They have to focus on the present angiogram. We're not seeing that.
Oh,
Uh,
can
you-
somebody show them the present angiogram?
You have to show them this in this field. No, no. They are seeing the previous one. They have to see this one from the feed.
So all along you've not seen what we have done so far?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
There was a glimpse of the AL catheter and all that. So
Now,
now we are able to see.
okay,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
So see, this is the antegrade angiogram that you're seeing. And if you go back, one more, go back, and one more. This is the simultaneous angiogram. You agree that the simultaneous angiogram gives you a lot more information?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And what is the guide they used for the left system?
We've used a diagnostic catheter at this present time, and we're hoping that that'll do the trick. We're hoping to get antegrade access into this artery.
Okay.
When is it that you choose XTR over an XT, Fielder XT?
Ah, good question. XTR has a very low weightage. It's a very atraumatic wire. And here, I do not want to traumatize the disease segment in the proximal segment. So I want a very soft wire which will find its way to the hard cap, and then I'll choose to a harder wire.
Okay.
Okay?
So that remains as a 0.09, the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. You can please keep asking me questions as we go along, and we'll try to answer your queries, okay? Show me
Do
an
you-
ario.
So this is in full mag. Sir. This is in full mag.
This case has
They're
a
using full
intracoronary collaterals, intralesional collaterals much more precisely. So do you prefer what type of the wire other than the fielder?
Fielder XTR or XTA would be my choice because they are 0.9 tips, and they just have the weightage which will not cause false lumens. If you take any stiff wire to start with, you'll end up going to a false lumen, and then it's very difficult to come back into the normal lumen. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is, as my wire goes along, I'm taking radiological guidance to see that my wire is within the stent. It's very easy for the wires to leave the stent. Go back. So every time you advance a little bit, you've got to make sure your wire is in the right position. Yeah? You don't want to go too far with a wire when you know you're entering a false passage.
Similarly, like in injections, you wanted a 90 degrees. In the same way, you confirm that it is in the two different views that you are within the stent.
Yeah, right. And the stent is a guide for us.
We want you to focus on Dr. Kirti's hand also.
You can see that initially, we used to keep drilling, and now we don't drill anymore. Remember, we don't drill. So what we do is take a direction, go forward. If it doesn't, then come back, take another direction, go forward. But you don't keep hunting. That drilling is gone. The concept of drilling will create a false passage, and that is what we don't want.
But is that true at every time? Is there any exceptions to that? Like sometimes you proximal cap you are able to pass through, but the distal cap, is that okay if you can drill it, or
No.
even there also?
No, drilling is out. We don't drill. I'll show you later why we don't drill, because we create a false lumen, and once we create a false lumen, the new Gaia wires don't work. You need a solid CTO body for the new wires to work properly, because the deflection does not work. It deforms. Yeah. Can you see that I'm just redirecting the tip of my wire gently to find?
Yeah, we are able to see it. The wire
Yeah.
got buckled, and then it's taking a turn, and the tip is directed towards the lumen now.
Absolutely. And so that we've come this far, I'll get my guide, my fine cross microcatheter inside.
Yeah, it is well-known fact that fine cross is the preferred in a CTO. Do you think that any other type of the microcatheters are helpful, or is that microcatheters really makes a lot of difference for the success?
You cannot do these cases without a microcatheter. I mean, this will not help. I have never done it, and because you know, when you're in the CTO body, and you need to change your wire from one to the other, then you don't want to lose what you've already gained.
Please, can you enlighten us in the types of the microcatheters, why the fine cross is superior over the stride or old transit ones or the newer Japanese ones?
Okay.
Are you taking balloon support now?
No, this is the microcatheter coming in.
Microcatheter.
Yeah. So the microcatheter that we're using, the fine cross, is a 1.8 French microcatheter. It's a very fine, lubricated Terumo product. The transit from Cordis and the stride are first not lubricated, two they're 2.1 or 2.6 French. So they're very large catheters, so they won't go into the CTO body, understand? So that is a big no for those, yeah.
Is the tapering is different from the microcatheters? Like you said, 1.8 is from the tip to the distal one is the same French, or is there any taperings?
No, so it's 1.8 French as we go along, and here at the proximal end it becomes 2.1.
When do you choose a fine cross and when do you choose a Corsair?
Antigrade approach, I like the fine cross. Retrograde approach, through the septal, I would prefer a Corsair, but sometimes this is interchangeable. I mean, sometimes you'll see one works better than the other, and it's an individual choice that you will make.
Yeah, you're almost reached to the distal cap.
Yeah, so now let's see where we go. Can I get another view, Anario? This is a crucial stage. So before you go and hit the distal cap, you got to make sure you're aligned properly, yeah? Not bad. What do you say?
Inline, sir.
Go back to the earlier, please.
I think there's a good progress of the wire and this one. We are on the right track, looks like.
We're only in the right track when we are in the right track. Until then, it's not proven.
Just now, Dr. Surya Prakash has also joined with the moderators.
Good morning, Dr. Pudamiya.
Good morning. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Any thoughts on this, Dr. Surya Prakash?
Just now, 1 minute I entered. I have no idea what exactly. I think it's a proximal axis.
To brief Dr. Surya Prakash, this was a RCA total occlusion in the mid part and all.
Mid-part.
And this is the third time they're trying for this thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
had
it's
a
a
stent in the past
retry
also.
for the RCA CTO.
Right.
How long the last attempt done?
About 6 months back.
6 months. That's a good period because usually it takes minimum 6 weeks. At
For
least we
any
should give
dissection or anything like
sometimes few months also. It's better. a lot of calcium you can see in the proximal.
Proximal RC was stented previously.
Previously, it's a
instant,
stented
yeah.
RC, okay. So it's a CTO of ISR.
Yeah, diffuse instant stenosis and with the total occlusion with distal edge of the stent. And
Only good part of the ISR is that you can middle the wire sometimes because the stent margins act and they guide you sometimes. It's another thing. What is the wire, Dr. Punamiya?
It started with a Fielder XTR.
Okay, okay.
Usually pathology of a proximal cap and the distal cap suggests that proximal cap is a little bit tougher to penetrate than the distal cap. But he's taking a longer time to penetrate the distal cap, probably I think to prevent not to go into the false lumen, not because of the
Exactly,
fibers.
exactly. The success story lies in crossing the distal cap, otherwise you will enter a false lumen, long dissection can happen. So as he has said, you have to take another orthogonal view and see. Always it will be misleading.
You can see that. Can
That's
you
what.
see?
It's not in the lumen distally.
will the stent boost help here or
No.
no?
No.
No need. I think now the strategy maybe you have to go for a parallel wire or something.
In the situations like this, is the better to pull back the wire and try to re-enter, or to leave the
So-
wire and take a second wire?
So that's where I think that if you start drilling, you'll create a very big space and then it doesn't work. So if you don't drill, just do a direction and then come back, realign and go, then I think we can avoid a parallel wire. Otherwise, we'll go with a parallel wire.
What would be your choice of a parallel wire now in case you have to use it?
Just one moment.
Always a more stiffer wire we prefer for a parallel wire. Huh?
Yeah.
Do you feel Gaia would have been a better choice in this case?
Yes, it would be. And I think I've chosen a XTR because it's a very atraumatic wire, and this might be the false lumen from the previous
Exactly.
attempt. So it's okay. We have all the time, and we'll do it right.
How about the collaterals in this case? On the
she has some bridging collaterals and
Yes, sir.
I think there's one of the non-predictors and all. And there are correlates from the LCA and
LCA.
this one, intercoronary as well as intracoronary both.
Mostly, no, it's like if it's like a caput medusae,
Yeah.
it's usually
that
difficult,
also,
very
yeah.
difficult. But it doesn't look like that. It's a channel, but because of the previous procedures, the dissecting planes still something not healing. That's why he entered this body.
Actually, it was tried twice.
Ah.
1 year back and 1.5 year back and 6 months back once again. And actually, the first we thought it's possible to do the antigrade. That's why we are not concentrated much on the retrograde. Probably now we have to see those skeletals once again.
The Crispus stingray
Dr.
would have been
Punami,
a good
like
choice.
when do you change your strategy from antigrade to retrograde?
I think we made fair progress. So even if we don't, it's a great setup because we got a wire parallel to a lumen here, and we've already set ourselves up for a reverse cart if required. So, but we'll see if we can avoid the retrograde. We are still far away from that.
With these advanced antigrade techniques, and even in Japan also, the retrograde cases number is coming down.
Okay.
Safety wise, there is a difference between the retrograde and antigrade also. Is
Because
that is the
In retrograde, you will have a long dissections, long regulating stents. You have to use, that's one thing.
Can I have a Gaia 2?
Gaia 2 wire చూడండి ఉంది ఓకే Gaia 2 అని ఉంటుంది.
Take me to that area.
is there any specific reason why you are choosing Gaia 2 instead of 1? Is there any specific reason?
Oh, Gaia 1 in this, it's going to be the same as a Fielder XTR for me. I think I need a little more body and a little more weightage.
Because he wants more penetrating force at the
Yeah.
distal cap. Maybe that's the reason he preferred that.
So the tip load is more than XTR and this 0.
It's like the 3-4
Like the
grams,
Miracle
not
3,
much. The
Miracle
penetrating
3.
force.
Don't open it. Don't open it.
What's the, is it a microcatheter support you're taking?
No, the microcatheter doesn't want to go anywhere beyond this. So
exactly.
I'm trying to avoid a Gaia because of that. I continue to be in that false lumen.
I think you should go for a parallel
Yes,
wire.
that's what I'm thinking. Okay. Take me to Elio.
Hello, Dr. Punami. This is Dr. Rao.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
So what is your experience? In general, we find the total occlusions instant are much harder than the total occlusions of a normal vessel. So
No,
what's your
actually, the other
experience?
way around. I think because Dr. Surya Prakash mentioned earlier, the stent gives you a margin to work within, and that is the advantage. But at the same time, what makes this case complex is the previous attempt.
No, not with respect to the procedure. Actually, occlusion per se is much harder than the normal vessel occlusion.
It depends upon the time between the occlusion and the attempt. So if the longer the lesion, these in-stent stenosis get extremely hard. They're extremely fibrotic and some of them even calcific. Yeah. Go up.
Stent will give you some guideline to go ahead in the middle of this thing. You mentioned
So-
sometimes it will be disadvantages also will be going through the struts if you are subintimal. Then it is very difficult to advance your Bellins and other.
You mean substruts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we at constantly when we are passing through the stent, you're taking orthogonal views to make sure that a wire is within the body of the stent. And that's important, but you can never avoid that problem. Get me the microcatheter again with the Gaia wire. Yeah, please.
Gaia 2, sir.
Yeah, Gaia 2, please. So now we've kept this wire there, and we'll take a Gaia 2, and hopefully the Gaia 2 will enter the true space where I'm trying to, but I can't turn this wire at that point. And the Gaia 2 will give me a little more linear 1:1 torque, and therefore it'll probably be an advantage with a little higher penetration force. And for those who don't know the Gaia comes with a preformed J. Can you see that? Can you appreciate the preformed J?
Can we interchange the screens, bro?
Can you see it?
Interchange the screens, sir. Can you magnify?
Interchange the screen. So
Yeah.
Can put on your
You may
glove
zoom onto the
background.
wire.
Now
yeah.
it,
You can zoom onto the wire. And
put it on your glove so that white background you
yeah.
can see that.
can you see that?
Now it is now it
Yeah.
is better.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Correct.
So you don't want to change that because that is optimized for the best penetration and linear torqueability. So you shouldn't change that curve if you don't have to.
In a parallel wire, do you change the shape of the second wire? Because this
No,
is
this is what the shape that I'm going to go to. It's the penetration, it's the torqueability and the pushability that will make a difference. And two, the first wire does alter the anatomy a little bit, so it makes the second wire at a little advantage because the first wire is like a railroad. It straightens the coronary artery.
So we introduced the second wire also with a microcatheter, and sometimes you couldn't do a seesaw technique. You can try one wire another like that. You will enter.
At this stage, you wanted to use the IVUS, or still you think that?
No, see that at this stage there's no role of IVUS at the moment because for IVUS I need to create space and I don't want to create space. At this rate, I just want to manipulate my wire if I can successfully into the true limit.
Usually, in this particular case, parallel wire works out. He has taken a good second option wire that works. Very good wire, Gaia. Usually is successful. Because of the felt more resistance, he has taken Gaia 2, but I prefer Gaia 1 to take first, then step up.
So, Dr. Surya Prakash, sir, instead of fine cross, what other microcatheters do you suggest?
I would prefer a Corsair usually, because in the space is narrow, very narrow from the beginning. That's why some people have their preference of microcatheter. I prefer a Corsair.
About the Corsair, usually whenever there is a proximal calcium or the stunt, there is some concern about the holding of the Corsair tip entanglement there. So some people will say that better to avoid definitely in the calcium, and probably in the stent we have to take care of it.
What you have to do is, with a soft floppy wire, direct the Corsair towards the center of the lesion. Then you exchange the wire. If you directly put some stiff wire, any hydrophilic wire, put the Corsair, it is at the proximal ends ostium, it is always difficult. First a soft wire, then go to the proximal cap, then you exchange the wire. Then Corsair works nice. Punami, are you feeling any resistance to the?
No, I'm trying to get my wire position in the right before I advance.
Okay.
So I'm not advancing at the moment. Just realigning my tip direction.
Dr. Punami, what is your experience with the miracle wire when the distal cap is very hard? Actually, we find it useful when the distal cap is very hard. We can perforate with the
I think
miracle wire.
we used to use miracles before, but I think after the Gaias are there, we can control the Gaias much better.
Before the Gaia, we used to go with a plastic jacket wire like Fielder XT, and next to go to the, as Dr. Shashi Rao suggested, Miracle 3. We used to go that time. Now the Gaia made a difference.
Even Miracle 9 and 12 are also very useful when the distal cap is very hard. Many
Very
times we could
I
cross
said
the
the
lesions.
penetrating force more means
Penetrating
you have to
force
go
is,
to Miracle or
great
Conquest
for the
Pro.
Miracle.
Maybe want to save the wires
Yeah.
directly,
Yeah,
sometimes you
yeah.
can go to a Conquest.
Probably,
problem
do you
with
go
it-
for Conquest Pro after Miracle 3 or Miracle 6? And what has been your experience?
I use the Miracle 3, then I switch over
directly
to
Conquest Pro,
Conquest
yeah.
Pro.
So you can
Because
save
in
on the
between
wires and,
wires,
Yeah, probably. And what's been your experience, Dr. Sheshgiri, and the Conquest Pro and Miracle? When do you switch over?
Miracle, the problem is it doesn't migrate easily.
Yeah, yeah.
Only the penetrating force is
you
greater
have
for Miracle.
the tactile feeling. That is
Yeah.
advantage of the Miracle wires.
Miracle will have tactile feeling, but suppose if it has to go through the stent struts and all, it doesn't migrate that easily.
Mhm.
Whereas
Right.
Fielder XT, it migrates very easily, but the chance of entering a false lumen are higher with Fielder XT and other coated wires.
Yeah.
Miracle is not a coated wire, thereby your tactile experience will be much better compared to other wires.
You know, for a Conquest Pro, you need to have a straight course and a good target. if you have a tortuous or a disease target, then you don't use a conquest probe because you cannot steer that wire very well.
What Dr. Kirti Punami has said correct. The thing is, whenever the vessel is tortuous, because of its complex core technology, the Gaia series, you can, even in resistance CTO segments also, you can torque 1:1 torque, you can steer the wire tip to the distal cap, then you can exchange with, you can advance Corsair, because compared to microcatheter, the Corsair, the penetration power, because of its rotation and pushability, you can reach, and then you can exchange with what Dr. Seshagir Rao told to either Miracle or Conquest to penetrate the distal cap. And the most important, what he is doing is the correct thing. Always you have to, especially when RCA C2O is doing, you have to exchange to LA1 and RO constantly, because angio is a two-dimensional plane. So whether you are going in a correct plane or not, because with one plane your assessment will be wrong. So two planes, so that distal true lumen you can correctly identify.
You want to give a injection from contralateral?
Yeah, how frequently you go for contralateral injections?
What do you guys say?
Looks like you entered.
Yeah, he has
Cranial,
entered
sir?
that result, the distal. Which is the wire you crossed first?
Gaia.
Gaia wire had crossed first.
No, we crossed with the Gaia.
To the Gaia only. Okay.
In the beginning of the case, simultaneous injections plan was discussed. Even in this case, where some distal flow is there in RCA, simultaneous injections has shown a better delineation of the vessel. So as far as possible, Dr. Punami has said it's better to go with simultaneous injections.
11.
Aleo. So I think we are in the distal lumen. Just everybody agree?
You are in the true lumen.
You are in the
Yeah.
true lumen.
Sometimes you'll be going subintimally and again entering the true lumen when
That
you are
can
going
happen.
Yeah,
accurately.
that is a
But
star-
anyway, the ways of doing CTO like that only. In
Yeah.
all hybrid techniques we
That
do
problem
like
can
that.
be
Maybe the star
delineated very
technique
well
and
when you are giving a contralateral injection.
Yeah.
As long as you are in true lumen, that fills. So when you are subintimal zone, that portion won't fill in the contralateral
If
injection.
it is not a very long segment here in the subintimal, it's okay.
Yeah. So thereby actually you can correctly assess the length of the stent also, because you will be stenting subintimal zone also. So
See,
unless
this
you
is
ca-
the second problem that
unless you connect the subintimal zone with the true zone, you won't establish the flow.
so we are having trouble advancing the microcatheter into this zero mag. I want to see the tip of the wire at all times. Yeah.
Seshagir sir, we didn't get the point exactly regarding the stent length when you use this.
No, when you are going antegradely, sometimes you will be going through a subintimal zone and again enters the true lumen. You won't know the extent of the subintimal zone.
Give me a tornus.
In the contralateral injection, if you give, this subintimal zone won't fill. Because contralateral, if you inject, it fills up to the true lumen only.
Yes.
The subintimal zone won't fill.
Yes.
So thereby, you will come to know to what extent you have to stent that area.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So unless that is not known, you may be choosing a less length stent.
reason we do, I was in
Unless
most
you
of these
connect the
cases.
subintimal
Nanto
zone with the true
technique.
zone, you won't establish the flow.
That's why I was will be useful in these cases.
Hope so.
Yeah, go up. Go to 16. Sorry, say that again? A 2.1 tornus, yes. So the microcatheter wouldn't go. We have two choices. Either we dig in with a 1.2 balloon or we take a tornus. The question is, I prefer the tornus because if I see a lot of calcium in that area, I still have an ability to open my rotoblader and ablate the whole area.
How you removed your microcatheter? The Nanto technique or with the
Yeah,
balloon?
with the mantle. Yeah. How many of you have used a tornus in the group?
We have some experience in our center and
Okay,
this
great.
and,
Don't, you shouldn't report it.
I think
So
most
what
of-
you should do is, you
most
should
of
actually
the
fluid it in the...
operators here used your tornus.
Yeah, we use it, but not very frequently, we used it.
Yeah.
Like Seshgiri also used it.
Yeah. I need a 2.5 balloon.
2.5 billion.
So to use a tornus, you need to trap the wire. You cannot use Mantoux techniques and things like that. So you need to trap the wire, or you need to have a dock. So I'll take a 2.5 balloon because this is a 7th French guiding catheter. Give me a 2.5 balloon. Any 2.5 balloon.
Dr. Suryaprakash, Dr. Gopi joined as a panelist, so probably we can take his opinion about this in a further.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding what we've done so far and why we've done it?
Dr. Punami, like, what has been your experience with the new devices and all, like the Stingray and the Crossboss and this?
My experience is zero.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have the device.
Yeah.
And
Anyone
I...
in Bombay, anyone is using that or?
No, one of my colleagues, Nimit Shah, who's come back from UK, he has experience with using the new device, but I haven't seen him operate on that in Mumbai, so...
So hardly, probably, I think all over the country there are much experience with that.
So the question
actually,
is, in this patient, will that help?
Yeah, really
Probably
help
not,
or-
because you'll go under the stent.
Yeah.
So actually by another 6 months, I think Chris Boss Stingray makes a big way in India.
I still have my reservations about.
So you're doing
very
a balloon
long-
trapping technique.
Yeah, very long subintimal, stenting. I don't know the long-term results. Some of these stents may not remain patent. They'll have diffuse in-stent restenosis, and that is a big problem. Yeah. Is that okay? Fine.
Dr.
Go on.
Punamiya, why do you choose tornus over crosshair?
The Corsair doesn't have the metal tip which will allow me to torque into the lesion. I need something that can torque into the lesion, screw into the lesion. So we lost blood pressure on this guide catheter now. Before we do that, we check our wire is fixed well. And so once our wire is fixed, you can focus on this now.
Dr.
Can I have the
Suryaprakash,
light?
the crosshair, the migration would be much better, no, compared to tornus.
If
The
the
lesion is
tissue-
very hard, the tornus would
If the
definitely
tissue is a hard calcium, tornus is a better thing.
No, the fear of the Corsair is that it may go, but in trying to remove it, you may lose the tip sometimes. And I wouldn't use the tornus with all these metallic struts and things like that. I mean the Corsair. I would use a tornus.
Thanks. Actually, here the tornus penetration power is more compared to Corsair, especially calcific lesions. There is one study is there where tornus is superior actually.
Yeah, we all know that it is, isn't it? From anecdotes as well.
Pertaining to this particular lesion, I feel Corsair could also have been crossed. This
Yeah, when
particular
calcium
thing.
is there,
It's not that
definitely-
hard, you have to go for a concuspal wire or anything.
Exactly.
So,
So when a lot of calcium is there, definitely the crosshair would be,
don't agree with
tornus
that.
would be a better option.
Just because a Conquest Pro was not required doesn't make a lesion any less merciful than because the wire will find the way from deflection between calcium and find the true lumen. With the Conquest Pro may not, and we know that. So you may still require a tornus sometimes. And yes, there are so many ways to do the same thing. I mean, one would say, let's take a 1.25 balloon and jackhammer this and just dilate it. We did that last night. But I think one of the reasons for using the tornus is to show people how the tornus can be used in this anatomy. And we'll share a case with you from last night, a similar CTO. And what we need to do is we need to go counterclockwise, and you will see that the tornus starts advancing with the counterclockwise.
Can you show the
Focus.
rotation process, how you
Sure,
manipulate?
go mag.
I think we can magnify the fluoro screen probably.
Yes, please, we'll do that. Yeah. Give
Focus
me a
on his
mag.
hands also.
And your hands in the insert.
So we fix the wire. I hold the wire between my last finger and my palm, and open the TUI, and keeping a pressure, forward pressure on, I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 30 rotations counterclockwise, a little tug on that tornus, and then let it unwind, and then go another 30.
Did you encounter any breakage of the shaft at any time with too many rotations?
Yeah, you don't want to do more than 30, and you always want to let go and let it come back. Yeah?
Actually, there is a safety lock mechanism at the proximal end. So
Actually, you should realize that the tip got entrapped into the lesion. That also is very important.
Absolutely. Unless it engages, it won't advance. Can you see how my tornus is advancing slowly?
exactly.
It's very slow, but that's okay.
Always the learner should know that focus on the distal tip of the wire, very important during these maneuvers. You don't notice the distal tip, concentrate on the actual action where the then slow leaks after up to one day we have seen with small leaks occurring at the tip of the wires. Until you exchange for a floppy wire, these things happen.
It's made some headway, isn't it?
This is 2.1 tonus.
Yes, please. Yes.
Did you try the balloon first, Dr. Punamiya, or straight away you took tornus?
I took a tornus, yes. Show me the distal wire tip.
You can exchange, for a floppy wire. Then
When do you go for a bigger one, tornus?
Straighter artery, LED, when you want to, yeah. Can you see my tornus has gone a significant length?
And suppose a smaller size torus is not going, would you go for a larger one or or try some other maneuver?
The only reason I've shifted from a 2.1 to a 2.6 French tornus is sometimes in a tortuous artery, the 2.1 does not allow the rotor wire to be exchanged. That's my only reason to change. Yeah. Show me. I think we beyond the branch, we are in the distal lumen. Does everybody agree?
Yeah, looks
Yeah. So what we can do now is we can exchange this wire for a friendlier wire.
Still you got resistance with the tornus.
I'm just wanting it to.
Maybe little down if you go, it is safe, I think.
So Exactly. So the tornus should be free on the hand and on the wire when you're planning to exchange it. So that's what I'm doing. So it's okay to take it back a little bit and do it again because you're actually coring the lesion out. Yeah? So that way you loosen the lesion a little bit.
Dr. Punamiya sir, did you observe what is your experience of working with tornus with different wires? Which wire do you prefer when you work with tornus?
So I prefer these Asahi wires because that's where the tornus is designed to work on. Some of these other tires, don't try to use it on a choice PT or things like that because it'll hug onto the wire on the hydrophilic coating, and that is a problem. But otherwise, in most of the wires are pretty good. Yeah.
Sometimes some flushing is needed because the contrast sticking wire gets stuck in the tonus. That's happened.
Can you see it's advancing slowly?
Dr. Sheshki sir, the subintimal travel of the wire in CTOs, using the simultaneous injection, we can assess the extent of subintimal travel. And if the extent is a bit more, then the risk of coronary perforation will be there. Any ideas or in your experience?
No,
regarding this?
that is always there. Suppose if your subintimal zone is of greater length, there is every chance of likelihood of perforating the vessel. But that will be obviously known during injection whether you have perforated or not. So based on that, you have to plan your strategy.
It just shows how you are removing
But in
the tornus.
general, very large, very long subintimal stentings, they won't last long.
Balloon.
The occlusion rates are fairly high.
2.5.
So that's what we
So
noticed.
if you balloon travels well in the subintimal space, and if the extent is not much, probably we can go ahead with stenting. Otherwise-
Exactly. That you can do it off. But sometimes you won't be able to know whether your balloon is in the true lumen or subintimal zone. It passes so easily over the wire, even in the subintimal zone. It's not easy to recognize subintimal zone basing on the resistance offered.
Why? Balloon? The 2.5 balloon?
2.5.
Because
Just shows how you are removing the tornus.
Yes.
all your advanced CTO procedures, we do subintimately only. So that scare of perforation is not that much as before, but as you said, the space, how much exact size is very important. It is very close to the space is very narrow. Put a higher size balloon, the risk of perforation will be
So
there.
now
That's why
listen, so what we've
IVAS
done is
guides you.
the
IVAS
tornus,
guides
the tornus is back in the guiding catheter and then I'm trapping it. Trap it, go up to 10 atmospheres.
If you see the
Trapping the
Switchkani
wire.
article in subintima,
And then
actually,
all you need to do
subintima is
is
expandable
push,
both
pull the
horizontally
whole
and vertically
torus device
also.
out.
So perforation chances are less. All CTO segments, majority of them, usually.
We
if
don't
you
know
go
it
2
is
to 2,
gone
okay.
subintimal, it has gone subid.
Yes.
Adventitial near to the adventitial layer. That's
More
important.
expandable,
me
least
the
plane of
microcatheter.
cleavage, resistance, subintimal planes.
The fine cross.
Yeah, that's the reason why always you go with a very small balloon. Don't go with a higher,
Exactly.
larger balloon.
Exactly.
So go with a very small balloon and inflate and see whether you are really connecting
Flash
the
the
lumen.
microcatheter, please.
Thereby, actually, chance of perforation, all these things will be lower. As Dr. Surprakash said, never use a bigger balloon in the subintimal zone. Your chance of perforation will be much higher.
What is it? Why is the visibility gone like this?
I think they're in the arm boards.
His arm, what is it?
Maybe the LED screen coming in the way around.
No, his arms, he's trying to have. So typically when you do a CTO, always put a Foley's catheter because it's very difficult for patients to pass urine. It's a long procedure. And I don't know how I missed saying it before I started, but it's quite a torture to, yeah, down with this balloon. So the whole idea is now to see if I can get my, since I've tornaced and made a place, I'm hoping that my fine cross will find its way. And if it does, fine. If not, we'll just take a 1.25
I
balloon.
think you can take a low profile 1.1
Yeah.
balloon and
Yeah.
I think it
That's okay. Give me the lesion. Yeah. I'm holding the wire.
Why you are preferring to pass the fine cross before the balloon, just to exchange the wire with a softer wire so that it's a procedure is.
Yeah.
Okay. Or
It's
otherwise,
very-
is
it's
that
very
dissection
important.
by the balloons proximally is going to
The
have
question
an
is,
impact?
what if this is calcified? I'm still trying to see if I can have a, if I need to do rotablator, then I need to have a virgin lesion there rather than a dissected lesion.
Punami, if you find resistance at this juncture of microcatheter, can you prefer Corsair at this level or
No,
you
I
won't
don't.
prefer? You won't
No,
prefer.
No, I don't. Okay, let's go with a 1.2 balloon, please. Or a 1.1, or whichever balloon we have, a CTO.
1.1 acrostep.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
1.1 acrostep.
You are taking OTW or
No, just a monorail.
monorail only?
Yeah,
OTW you can reduce one step, if you take OTW balloon now.
Difficult to manage OTW balloons. The
Okay.
pushability with the monorails are much better. No.
Okay,
Dr. Punamia, I think another 5 to 7 minutes left for you, Fadil, I think.
So, heparin.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to rush because of that. I'm going to do the case as it's supposed to
No,
be
no,
done.
just to say any
Wherever
good
you-
points, you want to convey any good points,
Yeah,
you
I
can
think,
continue your procedure.
Hopefully, I will dilate and be able to do a good IVUS run before we conclude. And then the stenting part is not relevant at all because everybody in the audience, I'm sure, knows how to stent this artery. The whole idea was to try and show the intravascular ultrasound after dilating it. So if I can have the balloon quickly, then we can kind of see if I can do all that in the 5 minutes. Yeah?
Sir, heparin 1 hour over. Heparin 1 hour.
3,000 more.
3000 heparin.
Dr. Punami, like, do you always use a tornus before going for a 1.1 balloon or 1.0 balloon? And
No, I don't.
then, like, what are the
So
situations
I was
in which
hoping
you
that the
prefer them
tornus
and-
would allow me, see my feel of the tornus didn't give me confidence that I was going to be able to exchange a wire, so I didn't lose wire position.
Yeah.
And because I knew the lesion was holding on to the tornus, and sometimes that can happen. But there's no definitives in medicine. You got to change your plan as you go along.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is, I also got to remember that I'm working not in my own lab, but in some other lab. And
So you're starting at a disadvantage, I should say.
no, it's not a disadvantage, but I got to respect the fact that I don't have the same liberty of use of material like I would in my own lab.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, so we need to modify at times. Yeah.
What size of the balloon is this?
This is what balloon is it that you've given me?
So 1.110 acrostep.
An Accustat?
Acrostat 110. Okay.
Dr. Punami, with so many limitations in the hardware and all, if you can cross the lesions here, you can do it anywhere.
That's not true. That's not true. We are lucky, but these coronary arteries can be pretty nasty, and sometimes it's frustrating. Your best effort is not good enough. Yeah, go ahead.
14, sir.
You got to remember, these coronaries are temperamental and they don't have predictable behavior at times. I mean, you can do everything perfectly and then something else shows up. Yeah, go ahead. At this time, we can take off the left-sided catheter so that we don't have another problem. Yeah, go up. Go up to 18. So 18 atmospheres.
18, sir.
Down.
What is the anticoagulation is given for this patient?
We gave 7,000 and then at an hour we gave another 3,000. Go up again to 10.
18.
Down.
Do you monitor ACT in your lab?
I do, yeah, but unfortunately, I don't have that access here, so that I've given that 3,000 anyway. Go ahead, go up.
18.
Yeah, 18. Okay.
See, we have noticed that you're not taking any injections. Is it
I
because
don't.
it's
I just don't.
Okay, when this is because you have got a stent already, or how do you position these balloons?
Because I feel the antigrade injection in a CTO is the worst thing you can do. You can destroy the entire result because of that.
Okay, you have not taken even a retrograde injection also.
I don't do, because I don't need to.
Okay. Now, is
Give
this
me the
because this is stent
microcatheter.
already, or you just don't do it for any case?
In CTOs with my lesion going right up to the guiding catheter, if I do an injection antigradely, I'm more likely to cause a false lumen that will extend into the distal true lumen, and I'll compromise my entire result. It's not what you should do. Just see, I'm sorry we're running short of time, but otherwise I would have shown you how we would not do an injection at all till we put our stents and complete the job.
Yeah, but why not a retrograde injection?
Why not? Because we don't need them anymore. Because now once the artery is opened antigradely, the retrograde is not going to fail.
No, usually IVUS you can prefer after once the balloon passage was gone and you dilated.
Yes. So once, the first thing I want to do is I want to change this wire to a friendly wire.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so that is what I wanted to do.
Most important.
Okay,
that is.
so now give me a extra support wire of any choice. All-Star, Grand Slam, Stabilizer Plus, anything.
Stabilizer plus. Yes, stabilizer plus.
This is a very important step, and once you have a good wire in position, then I feel much safer to put a bigger balloon, and then I'll do an IVUS run. Can we get an IVUS ready, please? Thanks. So can you see that lesion right at the mouth? The problem with this anatomy is that the minute you do an antigrade injection,
Wire.
you will get a huge subintimal hematoma. Dr. Surya Prakash, do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah. Even my antigrade injections were half a cc, slow, you can't, just enough to see something. Yeah, that's it.
Choice extra support.
Where are we? I think if I have to give a message for this case, I think we need to review all the old angios carefully to see what the previous operator might have done, which you need to modify. That's one. And one of those things I learned in this is an AL1 guiding catheter. Two, when you use an AL1 guiding catheter, it is nasty because it dips into the artery, and so when it dips into the artery, don't do injections through it. It is only a conduit to get your devices into the artery. It's not a conduit for visualization of the artery. And that's a very important thing that I'm telling you. It is going to be a deciding factor between failure and success sometimes. The other thing Dr. Surya Prakash mentioned is to keep an eye on the distal wire position at all times. Sometimes we lose track of the distal wire position, and you can get a serious nasty leak which will cause a pericardial tamponade, and it just destroys all, puts end to all your effort. So that's another something that is a lesson. And problem with the stabilizer is that its torqueability is not as is great, but it still is a great wire to support. Yeah?
Do you choose a AL1 for all these cases of CTO of RCA, or?
Yeah, it's a great support catheter, and the stability, you see, it's a very stable way to use it. The problem is it's not a friendly catheter. Yeah, you can't manipulate. You can't do active guide manipulation with this catheter.
So do you ever use a JR for these CTOs?
Yes, if the CTO is at the ostium of the right coronary artery, then I would not use an AL1.
Yeah, sometimes the pressure may be damping with the
I don't
AL
care
one
about the
catheter.
pressure.
That-
We go
I
for
just don't
side
care.
holes. We go for side
Yeah,
holes.
you have to always go for the side holes.
I don't go for side holes, and I don't. I was talking to them yesterday about it as well, because the side holes are more likely to give you a false sense of reassurance. They don't do anything. It's no advantage. And you end up using a lot more contrast with side hole catheters, because this contrast keeps escaping through the side holes.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes there will be a big conus branch proximal to the obstruction. If you damp the pressure, some patient can go into VTVF, all this.
Not unless you inject
problems.
contrast in it. Often we put a conus and put a balloon to give support. So you shouldn't inject conus in contrast in an occluded conus branch. It's the osmolality in the myocardium which actually creates the VT.
No, if you are damping the RCA with the AL1, if you damp the pressure, the conus circulation may get affected and patient may go into VTVF. It happened to us.
It has. We are okay
When
here.
we are not using side holes, that happened to us.
Better side holes.